Infection Free Zone is a top-down survival style zombie game that puts you onto a map and allows you to build up whatever you can to survive. There are tons of areas on the map in this game that allow you to start wherever you want to. As you can see here, I'm selecting an area where I used to live, and you can select any part of the map and it will put you into that map with buildings and things that are set around the actual location itself, and this is where you play the game. The main grid square in the center is where you start. Everything around the outside of that, the other essentially 8 grid squares around the outside, are the boundaries of the map. Also, I have to thank Boosteroid for giving me this game and for sponsoring this video, as I'm partnered with them. Stick around towards the end of the video for more information on Boosteroid, what they do, and potentially hear about a little bit of a giveaway that I'm going to be doing, where I'll be giving away 10 keys to allow you to get onto Boosteroid and try it out for free. Thanks again to Boosteroid for partnering with me and allowing me to do this video. Once you finally find an area to start in with enough buildings around you in order to actually start the game, you'll be able to select your settings and choose the difficulty of the game. And it's just best to start on medium in my opinion, but you know, you can turn off story events and tutorial events if you want to, and these are good to leave on if you like story, but if you don't, get rid of them. It does interrupt gameplay quite often, and apparently I'm stuttering now. It interrupts gameplay in a way that slows the game down, and it might not be something that you want to do. Once you get past the long ass loading screen, which is always there, it says it can take up to 10 minutes, it depends on what you've actually got, what hardware you're playing the game on. Then you get into the game and it takes you to the map. Now, having lived in an area near to this place, I can say that the map is very accurate. The only thing they don't seem to model in at the moment, and keep in mind this is early access, is bridges and things like that. So you may find that if you're in an area near a bridge, it won't be a bridge, it will just be a road traveling under a bridge, because that's the way it works. You can zoom out, you can look around the section of the map that you got access to, and you can select a building that you want. It does tell you that doing a larger building will be harder to defend. Generally speaking, you want to pick like a medium-sized building to set your headquarters. This is where your base is, and this is where your units will start from. Once you've selected a base, then you can start building up things around it, taking over other properties nearby, either by dismantling the buildings in order to get more materials to build more things, or to convert them into other buildings to help your civilians and your citizens and your settlement essentially to grow and become stronger and get more things. You'll want to select a warehouse area where you can store things. You'll want to start up a research area, start building walls and gates around your place and towers in order to defend your settlement against hordes. Hordes generally aren't around in the daytime, but sometimes people are, but most of the time you'll find that hordes will come out at night, and that's when it can get a little bit dicey. As more and more people come into your settlement, you then have the ability to create new squads. These squads can be used to search buildings, as you can see here, and they can be used to fend off any hordes that are nearby. Any unit that you have that is in a building will defend that building if a horde gets nearby. It's always better to be in a building than outside, because if you're outside, you can get overwhelmed by the hordes. Once you've set up the basic buildings in your settlement, then you're going to want to go around and loot like this. If you hold the shift button and right click, then you can queue up buildings for your people to search. Later on, when you get more workers, you can get another squad, and you can do this with 2 squads at a time. I pause the game quite regularly just so I don't waste time, but this is something that you'll kind of get used to doing so you don't waste the precious minutes that you got during the day before you get attacked by a horde. There are certain areas on the map that will show exactly where important things are, like important resources. These are places you'll want to go to as soon as you can. As you can see here, there's a horde moving in on my base. They kind of wander around a bit, and then when they do come at you, as you can see, your soldiers start shooting. This is the way that your people will defend any building they're in. It doesn't need to be a HQ, but it does need to have a squad inside it, otherwise there'll be no one with guns to defend you. Once you get those first buildings set up, the best thing you can do then is go out and start exploring the local area. You will find vehicles in this game, and when you find these vehicles, you can use these vehicles to get more stuff. So each squad has 4 inventory slots that are available to collect things from buildings. These 4 inventory slots get filled up pretty quickly, and then your people have to run all the way back to your base or the warehouse in order to drop these things off. But when you got a car, this makes it a lot more streamlined. You may have 15 slots in the car, which allow you to put 15 things into the car, and if you press shift and right click and queue up the buildings that your people are going to search, they will systematically go through each building, moving the car closer to where they need to be whenever they need to in order to put things into that car. And they will keep doing this until they filled up all of the slots of the car and all of their inventory. Then they'll go back to the base in order to drop it off, then carry on searching if there are more buildings that you've already set them to search. So right now I'm showing you a part later in the game. This is about an hour into the game for myself, and I stumbled across a truck. This gave me a lot more slots, as you'll see in a moment, that allowed me to grab a hell of a lot more things from the surrounding buildings, which made it so much better. Also, that pop-up there, as you can see, survivors occasionally will pass by you and they will be able to join your settlement. This gives you more people, but also gives you more mouths to feed. But that little pop-up with the radio thing, that is what you'll get every 20 seconds or so when you go into the story mode, which can be very frustrating because it slows the game down a lot. As you can see, the truck has got 40 slots in it, which allows me to get 40 different things into that truck, which means I can search a much larger area faster. This is one thing I regret not doing, and that was searching around for more vehicles at the beginning of the game and discovering this about an hour into it. But this is why it is definitely useful to go searching for vehicles at the beginning, find the bigger vehicles to allow you to search more efficiently and get more materials faster to build up your base. You also have an entire research tree that allows you to research new buildings to build and other things to allow you to get through the game. But this is something that's more progression based and you have to do things to get to there. You also have to have a researching building to collect the knowledge essentially in order to research stuff. Having played this game for a good couple of hours and still wanting to get back to it, I can definitely recommend this game for anyone that likes this type of genre of game, and especially if you just like the idea of surviving in a city where you live. It kind of makes it more interesting when it's a bit more personal. I do have another game of this that I'm playing where the building that I live in right now is my HQ. And it's kind of interesting to be building up things in the local area rather than a random map. And keeping in mind this game is still in early access, I can definitely recommend it as something that will obviously get better over time and will be improved. And now to get to the giveaway. So first of all, I'm going to need you to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, not just so you can keep up to date with my videos and what I release in future, but also so you can keep up to date with my videos for the next one. Because the next video that I'm doing is going to be a game called HORDE. Not only is this a fun, enjoyable game that I've actually just got into and I'm finding it quite fun, but I'm still playing it so I'm still not done a review yet, but also I'm going to be doing a giveaway in that video where I will be giving away 5 keys for 7 days of Boosteroid, and for the 5 runners up I'll be giving 3-day keys so that you can use Boosteroid and see what it's like and try it out. For those that don't know, Boosteroid is a cloud gaming service that allows you to play your games from Steam as well as other games from Boosteroid itself from any device that you want to. You can run it from your browser, which means you can play from all of your devices as long as they have an internet browser. And for 10 lucky winners, you're going to get a chance to experience this for yourself completely free on me with this giveaway. So like I said, hit that notification bell, make sure you're here for my next video on HORDE for your chance to win one of those keys. Thank you for watching my video. I've been Lycan from Green Lycan Reviews, and I'll see you in the next one.